Welcome, everybody, friends and family. This is Steck with Kingdom Man Legacy Ministry. Hey, today we are going to honor Kenny Robert Steck, and I hope I can get through this. Uh, with God's help, I can. Today is March 11, 2023. And what a crazy couple years it's been here in America. I've got my Let's Go Brandon to help me get through. A little coffee here. Today we are going to honor the life of Kenny. Tomorrow's his birthday. He would be 37. And he left us last year, about 2 weeks ago, a year ago. And today I just want to talk a little bit about his life. And I'm going to show you guys some snapshots, some pictures of this young guy, this young kid that we've all come to love. Here's one. This one's probably, we were living in our first house in Rolling Meadows, and he was probably 6 or 7 there. He's showing he's missing a tooth. Who knows how that got knocked out, but wouldn't be surprised if it was because he was biking, right? Here's another one with us. In Florida, we used to take an annual trip down to Florida. I actually look kind of good there with glasses and a full beard. But we had some good family time together. We made it a point, I made it a point, no matter how busy I was during the year running a construction business, of always spending 2, 3, 4 weeks out of the year doing something really special with the family, whether it was biking to Elroy, Sparta, or taking them to the pond to go fishing, or going to Florida for spring break. We had some very, very measurable, meaningful, wonderful times growing up. Here's Kenny with the Shar-Pei. I think his name was Buddy, and Shep. Funny story about Buddy. This is when we lived at our second home there on Rolling Meadows on Robin Lane. Is anybody that knows Kenny, right? How much he liked to fish, a little bit, kind of, sort of. And Buddy, we were all in the basement, and Kenny had some of his fishing stuff out. And, you know, dogs like to smell and lick and chew on things. Well, he grabbed a hold of a hook and got it stuck in his upper lip, I think. And it was all I could do to hold the dog. I couldn't get the hook out. So one of the boys ran over to the Vignas and got Ken. And Ken came over, and he was able to cut the hook and then pull it through. Just a great story. Here's one with Kenny up at Camp Paradise. He was probably 7 or 8 there, maybe 9. There's another one, him holding Shep. You guys could all see Kenny's beautiful blue eyes. He was a good boy. Today I just want to honor him. And I want to breathe a little bit of life into those of you who maybe still be struggling. You know, we're all struggling in a different kind of way. But he was in a lot of pain when he was married. And what hurts me is that he was in pain while he was married. And it should never be like that. So Here's another one with us on Robin Lane. Three boys, the three boys in our kitchen, in our eclectic kitchen. Cindy just loved to paint on and just. Here's another good one. That's Kevin in the crib. Well, they're all in the crib, and they're just hanging out together. Um, this one here is precious. Here's Brian and Kenny. Brian's reading a book to him. Very precious. This one's a little out of focus, but that's Kenny in the blue shirt. Back in the day when we just loved to play, they used to love to play soccer, and me and Cindy used to coach and stuff. And there's another one of just Kenny's wonderful smile and his zest for life. Here's another one. I think it's his first day of school, public school, before we pulled him out a couple, 4 or 5 years later. And there's Kenny, the arborist, probably giving the family a full blown documentary on how to smell and weed out bad trees as opposed to good trees. And he's just all engaged, right? You guys that know him and knew him, he was just all engaged, wasn't he? I think we were playing frisbee on the beach, and I don't know if this is like a kung fu move or if he was waiting for the frisbee. I'm not really sure, but there's another one. Just a good young kid. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is Kenny. I'm a little surprised he's out there fishing when it's cold out. I don't know. I hope all you guys will share this video with especially his marine buddies and his fishing buddies, his Rolling Meadows buddies. Hey, Mac. Kenny was a good friend to everybody. He was a faithful friend to everybody. Anthony, Mac, Brandon, all you guys. Here's one. Where are they at? They must have been driving by then, because it looks like Steve Miller. They've got a sharing some probably McDonald's ice cream cones. Kenny had a lot of elements. He was in element in a lot of places. This appears as though maybe it was, up in Hayward, maybe, with you guys. Here's another one, also in his element. Brandon, Anthony, and Kenny. Probably like 0 degrees out in the snow. No, thank you. Cooking. They're drying out some socks over the fire. Yep, that's my boy. You guys recognize these? Yeah, I think he liked liney kugels. This might have something to do with how he loved, why he liked to go fishing. He was 2 years old there. He was 2 years old. 2 years old. And then this is here him a couple years later. He had a lot of elements. He had liney kugels, linies, those were his element. Fishing, biking. Hope I can get this one well. Here's one with Anthony. Just a picture of a waterfall. There's a picture of us all down there in out there in Rolling Meadows. It's Ashley on Brian's shoulders. And then lastly, but not leastly, there's the three boys. The three boys at Ashley's wedding just a few years ago. Uh, there's not a lot of life that's just easy. There just isn't. The Without getting theological, because I really don't like theology, and I hate religion. But there's a way to hopefully kind of explain this. The old Adam, so Adam and Eve. Okay, Adam and Eve really screwed up in the garden, and we don't even have to start. We don't even have to talk about creation, because you guys can go to some of my other videos where I talk about creation and just the simplicity of creation. God's beautiful, beautiful manifestation of His creation. How the atmospheres protect the globe, and the sun warms the earth, and we have water, and we have everything we need to sustain life on this earth, and reproduction, and the beauty and the magnificence of the eye, and air and oxygen, and just everything that God created for us to enjoy. But what happened back in the day, Adam and Eve, they screwed up. Adam was not tending to the garden properly, and he wasn't tending to Eve. The man is the head of the household. He's the leader. He's supposed to be strong. He's supposed to be safe. He's supposed to be vigilant, and he's supposed to look to the Lord for everything. But Adam didn't do that, so he screwed up, and then he tried to blame it on. We still do that today, right? Look at politics, right? Everybody blames everybody for everything else, and nobody wants to take responsible for a damn thing, right? Nothing. Okay, so Adam tried to blame Eve, but it really wasn't Eve. It was Adam. Adam did not protect her in the garden. So here we have the old Adam, which we now as Christians, we don't live under the old Adam. We live under what we call the new Adam. It's not theological. It's not crazy, you know, EBGB. It's just the new Adam is Jesus. All right, Jesus is the new Adam. So He is the reason we live. He is the reason we love. He's the reason we protect. He's the reason we love our families, and we protect our neighborhoods. And if there's any joy to be gotten out of this life, it's from Jesus. Okay, it's not from our jobs, because they get old. It's not from money, because it doesn't satisfy. It's not from relationships, especially those out of marriage. They'll never satisfy. It's not men. It's not from pornography. It's not from strip clubs. It's not from gambling. It's not from any of that BS. Okay. I'd love to just turn the air blue here, but then YouTube would probably take it off YouTube. So try to keep things pretty clean here. But I want to simplify what's going on. And Kenny, everybody knows. Everybody knew Kenny. You could line up everybody on the planet that knew Kenny, and not one person would be able to say one negative thing about Kenny Robert Steck. He was a good man. He was a faithful man. He was an honorable man. He gave 100%, 110% in everything that he did to every person he loved, every commitment he made. He gave 110%. And you guys that were closest to him, as hard as it is to understand fully, we don't. We don't understand fully. We can't understand fully his pain that he was in. And it wasn't pain because he was in Iraq for 13 months, or he was sitting on a fire truck in Cherry Point for 2, 3 years. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't the bear attack that God spared him from. Kenny was resilient. He was strong. He was wonderful. He was powerful. He was brilliant. He was creative. He was energetic. He was fully committed to everybody and everything, everywhere he went, everything he did. But the one place he got knocked down is the one place he couldn't live anymore. You can do a lot of things to man, to women, to mankind. You can do a lot of things. I'm talking specifically to men. You can do a lot of things to men. Break bones, jump out of airplanes, break backs, serve in the military, overseas, all kinds of crazy stuff. You can dig ditches for a living. You hang drywall for a living. You can be a fireman. You can do a lot of tough jobs. A lot of different. We were meant to do tough things. We're men. We're men. And Kenny did those all faithfully. He did them all well. And I want you guys, because I know some of you guys struggle with what happened. But it may look like I'm really struggling right now. I'm just trying to hold it together, but really, I'm just struggling because I know how much he loved you guys. I know how much he loved you guys. Ryan Grigsby, he was all in. Kenny was all in. Okay, you guys shared some some times and years together. Anthony, he would have found a way to spin the globe at a different rate for you, Anthony. He loved you a lot. Brandon, Brandon, he loved you a lot. He had done anything for you. He had done anything for you, Brandon. Steve Miller, I know you guys maybe didn't spend a lot of time together, the last, 5, 10 years, but you had a special place, uh, Steve, in his heart. Steve Miller. What was Miller's first name? Huh? Mike Wiebe. Chris Miller. Chris. I apologize. I apologize. I'm getting old. My brain doesn't work like it used to. Chris Miller. I knew it wasn't Steve Miller. I'm going, Steve Miller? No, that's the name of a band. Steve Miller. Chris Miller, man, he loved you, Chris. You guys biked and you taught him how to do stuff on a bike. Chris, you have a special place in his heart. You really do. He loved you a lot. And he was impressed and just in love with the fact that you joined the military as well. Chris, you'll always be loved by Kenny. Mike Wiebe. Mike Wiebe would tell stories about the bonfires and the party and then the cops showing up at our house while we were gone. It's like, oh man. Uh, Guys, he loved all you guys. He loved all you guys. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch. There's Marine guys. There's other guys that hung out with you guys at the house because you guys had friends, and any friend of yours was a friend of Kenny's. I'm pretty sure he treated everybody equal. He treated everybody the same. Kenny loved you guys. He loved you guys, and I don't want you to be distraught over this forever. I really don't. Kenny wouldn't want you to either. In the last, what probably hurts me, and we've talked about it with other people. I talked about it with Cindy. I talked about it with my kids. I talked about it with friends. What I have the hardest time with and I struggle with and what pains me the most is that one of my kids was hurting really bad. And it hurts me that one of my kids was hurting. And I wasn't able to be there when he needed help. And I also tell people for us not to be guilty about it, for us not to be, you know, don't be guilty about it, guys. Don't feel like it was something that it was our fault or your fault. It wasn't. I really believe that he was strong-willed in such a way and confident and everything. He just didn't want to burden people with stuff that was going on. He just didn't want to burden everybody with stuff, with junk in his marriage. And I get that. I get that. But in the end, I wish he had. I wish he had. We had been talking to him up to the day before and that day and everything, and it just goes to show you guys that sometimes you just don't know what's going on in people's lives fully, completely. And I want us to be there. I want each of us, all you guys, I want your Marine guys, Rolling Meadows guys, I want you all to be there for each other. I want you to be there for each other, to share one another's burdens. If you got to tip back a liney for that, and put down a pizza and whatever it takes, you be there for one another. And um, he was just hurting, and it's it's not on us. We are not responsible for somebody else's actions. We can be there for each other. We can help support, encourage, love on, party with, build bonfires with, do vacations with. We can do all that. It's called spending time with and being a part of somebody else's life and being a part of community and all that. But in the end, um, we have choices, and he had a restraining order in his hand, and letters that he had left that I didn't read. I don't think I could bear to read them. But in the letters, he talked about how his not so worthy wife, I don't know how to say it nice, threatened to take the kids away. Um, Women, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to get help. You need to get help. Women, if you're having that kind of problem, if you think the whole world is out to get you and every problem that is in your life, your personal life, is because of somebody else, it's not. It's not. And you blame everybody for all your problems. Um, it doesn't matter who you are, man or woman. If you're selfish, if you're narcissistic, if you think your life is supposed to be like somebody else's around halfway around the planet, it's not. Okay. As Christians, and you know what? As non-Christians, you can do the same thing. It's called renewing your mind. If you're a non-Christian, it just means put good stuff in your brain, put good stuff in your mind. Don't spend your whole life drinking and partying and being stupid. Just renew your mind with good things, with pleasant things, things that will not destroy you. And as a Christian, renewing your mind means to think on those things that are worthy and holy. Think on, it doesn't mean to get all religious and all pompous and all weird about it. It just means uh, Christ is our example as Christians. And you know what? You guys that maybe you don't know Christ personally, today, right now, you can invite him into your heart and say, Lord, you know what? I don't know what Mr. Steck's talking about. I don't grasp it fully. I don't understand it fully. I don't believe it fully. Doesn't matter. Trust me, okay? Trust me. Accept Jesus into your heart, and he'll give you a good life. He'll give you a good life. So renewing your mind as a Christian just means to look to Christ as our example and to try to live a Christ-centered life. Try to treat people well. Love on your wife. Love on your kids. Love on your community. Love on your comrades. Love on your friends. Love on your buddies. Just treat people like people. And sometimes when people don't treat people like people, I'm going to say it. We know who we're talking about. A lot of people. Half the planet doesn't treat people with respect and with honor and with loyalty and with. You don't treat people with respect, you get some negative reactions, and we don't want that. We don't need that. So today, just want to honor Kenny. Tomorrow's his birthday, and some of you will be seeing this on his birthday or after his birthday. It doesn't matter. Uh, this is March 11, 23. Tomorrow is March 12, 23, and that would be his 37th birthday. And we just want to honor him. I want to tell him that we love him, we miss him, and but when you're a Christian, you know that you know what happens in the end. Christ comes back to redeem and to collect and gather his church, the Christ followers, and pull them to him. And we're going to spend eternity together. So this stupid thing that's happened is it's just a bad speed bump. And I'm going to be able to spend eternity boy. And that's what I'm looking forward to, okay? Um, this morning at 3:30 in the morning, Colorado time, I got a call from my one sister that my younger sister that my older sister had passed away. Guys, these are just speed bumps. People, they're just speed bumps. It's a part of life. It's a part of life that we don't fully understand, we don't like, we don't enjoy. But we have to just take a deep breath and go, Lord, you got this. You got this. It's going to hurt for a little bit. It's going to hurt. But you can't put your faith, your trust in the world, in stuff, in material possessions, in junk. You just can't do it. Put your trust in the Lord. Put your trust in Jesus. I've been doing it since I was 17. That mean I'm perfect. That mean I got the answers. It mean that this is easy. It means, you know, that Jesus is a crutch. No. No, it means Jesus is who I trust. I'm not trusting money, possessions, blue skies, people. It means I'm trusting Jesus with all his promises throughout Scripture when he says, I got this, I got it, I got it, I got this. Things are hard, I got it. Life is hard, I got it. We lose a person that we love, I got it, we got it. I'm going to trust him to the end. I'm going to trust him to the end. So people, I hope this has served you well. Basically just want to honor Kenny. And you know what? I want to honor you guys too. A lot of his friends, all his friends. Every one of his friends. I want to honor every one of, because if you were a friend of Kenny, you were honorable. You were an honorable person. You were an honorable man. If you were in his company, you must have been special. Because Kenny was a special man. And he loved you guys deeply. And we'll go on. We'll get through this. Guys, just one day at a time. One day at a time. That's all. Does it mean it'll be easy? No. Does it mean when you're out, you're having you guys are having a beer with each other, and, oh man, I wish Kenny was here? Does it mean that'll be easy? No. It just means you raise a glass. You raise a glass to Kenny, and you honor him, and you tell each other how much you miss him, and how much he meant to you guys, and above all, how much he loved you guys. There's not a better man that I can think of that I can ever than Kenny Robert Steck. He was a good boy. We love him. We miss him. I love you guys. Mr. Steck loves you guys. All you guys. Okay? I do. You want to reach out to me anytime? You can. A lot of you guys have my phone number. You can reach out. You can share my phone number. You reach out. You call me at 1 in the morning. You can reach out. It doesn't matter. I love you guys. Any friend of Kenny's, was a friend of mine. Okay? I love you guys. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless.